Hi, it's Family Friday. Go on.
I was trying to get a really punchy opening
Go.
start and you've ruined it.
Go.
If you had to support another team, or you die,
What?
who would it be? Straight into it, straight into that football chat. There'll be people listening to this on their way to the football, 9 hours from Plymouth or whatever it is to Newcastle, and they need a question to get themselves going. So if you had to support another team, or you die, who would it be?
Another team in the world, because I have a soft spot for Sampdoria, for example.
Right.
Can I pledge my
Why
allegiance?
is that?
I don't know. I'm of the generation. I like the kit.
Good kit.
I think
Kit is crucial, isn't it?
I like the kit. It's a wonderful part of the world. Glorious, privileged. It produces a wonderful person. David Platt used to play there. Des Walker used to play there. There's an England connect.
Danny Dichio.
Also huge.
Legend
I'm a
for the
huge
club.
fan of.
Attilio Lombardo.
Attilio Lombardo,
Yeah.
big fan for, and he became a bald eagle, didn't he? Because he went and played for Palace.
He did.
It's
He
like
did,
a
yeah.
double
Very
pun.
good.
Yeah, nice. So you go Sampdoria.
I'd go Sampdoria.
I thought that was a nice introductory question for you, but I actually was very keen to see what Flav would say. And you have to answer it, or you die.
When you die.
I don't know.
Or you die.
Haringey Borough. Because it's on White Hart Lane. Close to Tottenham as I can get.
That feels like a cop out.
It does. 'Cause they're not even a real team.
I've always had a soft spot for Palace for some reason.
Have you?
And and they've come into the Premier League, and obviously that's just unacceptable. But when I was
them coming into the Premier League.
it's unacceptable to have any kind of soft spot for people that you played regularly. But when I was a kid, I liked the Eagle badge, and
When I was young.
I quite liked going to Selhurst Park when I was a kid. So I don't know. That's the only thing. But I hate everybody. Everybody who comes to Tottenham is my enemy, and we must destroy them.
So you would like to support Crystal Palace, is what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't.
It seems you said that. That's what you said.
Do you always feel like that? Whoever comes,
Yeah,
they
like-
have to be destroyed. So say for example,
You're on my patch.
So say for example,
and you're
you're
not
playing,
welcome.
last day of the season, you were playing Palace, but if you lost to Palace, Arsenal were relegated. So Palace need the points to stay up. Arsenal go down if you lose to Palace.
Yeah.
Do you still want to destroy the team that comes?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No. I would happily lose a game so Arsenal get relegated.
Good.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd check it out.
Another rule, a little fun for you. Always hate Chelsea unless they're playing Arsenal.
And then support Chelsea.
There's a hierarchy of hatred, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't ever support Chelsea, but if I'm watching it, I'm wanting Chelsea to win. So if that is supporting, then in that instance, yeah. But
So you have supported Chelsea in the past?
against Arsenal, I support anyone who plays
See, we can
Arsenal.
cut there though, can't we? We can cut that as a social clip. So you have
I
supported
bet
Chelsea
that'll
in the
bang
past.
on social
I think
media.
I feel like that. I feel like that exactly the same, but Tottenham.
If we can get this is on YouTube, of course, on the Bull Street channel. If you're not subscribed to that, do that right now. And on iTunes as well, just search One for the Weekend, and you can listen and maybe subscribe if you want to the podcast. If this video gets 1,000 likes, we will clip up that bit and put it on social.
All right.
Yeah.
What are you expecting? You
don't
think
know.
people
It's
go, oh,
actually
that's that. I don't know who that guy is.
For some people, might. There's a lot of people who've got a legion of fans out there.
Yeah, go on, carry on.
So we will do that. So hit that like button.
Can I establish some rules about this first, just so we know? Everyone,
Yes.
we watched last week, Statman Dave. Every time Statman Dave wound me up, I tried to expose him with a trivia question. Today's example is Rory.
From CFC Fan TV.
And
Go
as a
check
Chelsea fan, he's bound to wind me up.
it out. Absolutely. So we're going to talk about all that celery stuff with Rory. What is it? I'm not really sure. For those who don't know, the connection between Chelsea and celery. Rory's going to enlighten us, apparently. I met Sven last week. We're going to talk about my night out with Sven Goran Eriksson, and it's also going to be, we've got a little clip of me chatting with him, and there's a story behind that, and then we can briefly talk about. And he's going to give away one prediction from his FanLeague set of 13 games this week. Rory is a FanLeague man as well. You got your own league. You're in the One for the Weekend league. We will talk about your profile as well, but we're also going to be talking about the big games of the weekend. Which game is a bigger game? Everton versus Arsenal or Liverpool versus Spurs? Should we give Arsenal a break? Should we give Stoke a break? And rumours about a longer period of time at Wembley. Flav's going to tell us about that. There's going to be a massive shock this weekend. I'll dive into that for you guys. We've also got, of course, soldiers lost in battle. And I've got a little game for Rory at the end, which is called Next Gen or Regen, which is a game of, you've got so many loan players. Chelsea got so many loan players. So I've got a list of names. Which of these players were the next generation of Chelsea players? and which one were just regenerated players on Football Manager.
All right.
Testing your knowledge. Stick around for that at the
Sounds
end.
very difficult.
That is going to be difficult. I'll be surprised. They're all recent players, 2015-16 season. So, let's start off with Rory's FanLeague profile. So this podcast is brought to you by FanLeague. It's an app that we all play along with every single weekend. You can too. If you want to join the One for the Weekend League, we're in it. You're not great. I didn't have a great week last week, but I'm hoping to do better this week. Rory's in the league as well.
I'm fully on board with what used to be an accusation, but now it's just a fact that I know nothing about football.
Well, that's what's worrying, but it makes you curious as well with the app, is that you get your stats, and it's quite good. So Rory's profile, I've got it right here. Your overall status is bronze at the moment, with your best score 8 out of 13.
Bronze is great.
I think
Bronze puts me on the podium.
It's
at
a
the
precious metal.
Olympics.
I know, I don't think there's a fourth. There's nothing lower than bronze,
Okay.
so it's not. Yeah, I don't think you're doing great.
Yeah, you're last.
But I'm on the podium.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
If that's what you need.
Great.
7. Your average score is 7 out of 13. Again, needs to be a little bit better.
Better than mediocre.
11 people in your tree, which is good. So if those guys win money and you've played the same week, you can win some money as well.
Excellent.
So the one thing I wanted to talk about was profession. You've put sports pundit.
Have I?
You have.
I didn't even know that was an option on there.
Now, I think football pundit, I would go with that. I think that's fine. Sports pundit. So what other sports are you dabbling in your punditry?
That is definitely. It's a hoax. It's almost a malicious hoax. It's not.
Do you have someone who fills in your profiles for you then?
It bears no resemblance to the truth. Yeah, I would never ever refer to myself as that intentionally.
Right.
Yeah, it's false.
Okay. How have you found the predicting process?
Hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
It's difficult.
Yeah, I think the way that you spun that intro is that 8 out of 13 isn't anything to be proud of.
I mean, it's not. You're not going to make money of that. 10 or more you need.
8 out of 13 is impressive though.
My season average is 6.25.
There we go. Case proven.
Fair enough.
Out of all
no.
26 to 45-year-olds, I'm 911.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things about this app, the FanLeague app, is they compare you based on football club. So the better you do, you can rank higher again. So it's quite important to me in every level that we beat Arsenal.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit worrying that DT is smashing it.
Yeah, he's so good at this.
Yeah, he is.
So
He's so good at this.
that's infuriating as well, because you quite like, for someone who's so certain about his opinions on things, it'd be quite nice if he was awful at this.
Yeah.
No.
He's all right.
He
he's really
completely
good.
validates everything he says.
If you want to get involved, you can compete against DT or any of us. You can download it in the App Store or using the link in the description below if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, search my name, James Alcott, and I'll invite you. It's going all season long, so come and get involved. Right, Chelsea.
Yes.
If we did this podcast last week, then your vibe would probably be a bit happier, right?
Not very happy, are we?
No, it's been a terrible week. It's been a really, really torturous week to go to Palace and lose to a Hodgson team, a team that Chelsea should be certainly beating.
Should we talk about your little Twitter storm? Do you want to explain what happened?
Yeah, I imagine most people are aware. But I made a very bold statement where I gave 5 reasons why Chelsea would beat Crystal Palace. The biggest reason, the reason that I put the most amount of validation in, was because Roy Hodgson is the manager of Crystal Palace. And I have so much faith in our manager, and Roy Hodgson is my mortal enemy. There is no man in football who I dislike more than Roy Hodgson.
Why is that?
Mortal enemy.
No, listen, this is a good story.
He's my mortal enemy. He ruined my life twice. No man has ruined my life twice. Maybe my dad, but that's another story.
Not for this
but no, like Roy Hodgson,
for the weekend.
twice in my life has completely obliterated my plans. 2014, saved up, went to the World Cup. England were out 24 hours. I'm in Brazil, booked for a 2.5 week jaunt. I've planned it for 2 years, saved up. I've worked out, looking at the group, studied it for hours upon end, worked out exactly where England would finish. And I predicted we would finish second in the group, which meant we would play who finished top of the group, the other group. It would have been Colombia at the Maracanã. So I made sure I had tickets for that. Then tickets for one more. Then I was going to fly home. England were out 24 hours after my plane touchdown. 24 hours. It was a new low for English football. We didn't even have to bother playing a third game in the group.
I remember that.
That was horrible.
Disaster.
That last
Yeah,
game. That was.
Oh, the Costa Rica game.
Oh
Yeah, I mean, I went.
God.
It was quite good fun actually, but it was. Yeah, I mean, it was abysmal. So lots of people are far more forgiving than I am. They gave Hodgson another chance. You know, bring it home. Make this your moment. Iceland then happened. 2 years later, I've saved up, I've got to France, I've gone to Nice, I've planned it all. I'm a Monday night in Nice. I actually had to quit a job I was on to get to it because they wouldn't let me have the time off, so I quit.
Wow.
Went to this, went to the tournament.
How'd it go?
Yeah, it went badly because of Roy Hodgson. So,
right,
I
get it.
I let rip on a video.
So it's 3 times.
3 times he's done you.
He's done me again, he's had a hat-trick. He's got a hat-trick.
These things happen in threes, though.
Yeah, well, that's it done, hopefully, yeah.
I should have put Soldiers Lost in Battle music to
Yeah,
it would have been brilliant.
I might not be needing these. This is great.
You're doing ever so well. So yeah, the Roma game looked like it was fine, 2-0 up, and then Dzeko and Kolarov. You wonder, like, they go off into the ether, and they're at AS Roma. Dzeko's goal was ridiculous.
Yeah, Kolarov wasn't bad either.
And now you play Watford this weekend, and it's a bad time to play Watford.
Well, Watford will be buoyant. Watford will be looking at the Chelsea game, like what's going on at Stamford Bridge, and think, lovely. What a lovely time to be arriving at Stamford Bridge. I think if Watford go home with a point, they'll probably be disappointed.
Watford?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously
surely
hope they do.
That's an overreaction.
If I was a Watford fan going into this game, the turmoil that Chelsea are in, you should have seen us.
Turmoil, Rory. Turmoil?
There's a problem. There's a real problem. And can you imagine just how it is in the club for somebody like Antonio Conte? He looks up in the director's box, sitting in the chairman's box, in fact, is Ancelotti. It's not good times at Chelsea. Roma 3-3 will be portrayed. Anybody who wasn't at that game or anybody who hasn't seen that game will portray that game as this thriller. What a game! The Champions League in all its glory. Bollocks! It was painful. We were shocking, and I have absolutely no idea how we managed to score 3 goals.
Right, I'm going to have to go early to Soldiers Lost in Battle, because you thinking that Chelsea are in turmoil, these guys are in turmoil. Okay, Flav, do your thing.
So sometimes obviously there's times in life where you struggle and football can be your saviour, and for many men it is. But for some of the stories you're about to hear, that option of an island in the distance that gives you some respite in your life was cruelly taken away from him, and it was but a mirage.
Wow, fantastic. Vedant's Channel 2. I was touring England back in November 2015. I really wanted to see my favourite team, Liverpool, play in the Premier League. Due to the international break, the only 2 matches which I could see were them playing against City in Manchester and against Palace in London. I bought the tickets pretty late and then chose the Palace game because I was saving £7 on the ticket price. Liverpool lost 2-1 to Palace and won 4-1 against City. One for you, Flavia. Poor Spurs were fooled by a dodgy lasagna and defeated by West Ham on the final day of 2005-2006 Premier League season, which denied them a Champions League spot. 10 players went down with a stomach bug, having eaten at the Marriott Hotel in West India Quay the night before. According to ex-Spurs player Timo Tainio, it is still the biggest disappointment of my career. Poor David James, although his recent comments have been not well received regarding the Eni Aluko thing. David James was let down in 1997 by the world of gaming. After a trio of howlers cost Liverpool against Newcastle in 1997, he said, "I was getting carried away playing Tekken 2 and Tomb Raider for hours on end." James never truly shook off accusations of being an error-prone keeper. And finally, the Crystal Palace cheerleaders for years provided diligent service to Crystal Palace. All of this time and effort meant nothing to the Palace fans, who pointed the finger at their own cheerleaders when they were languishing in the championship at the bottom of the championship table. Supporters said the Crystals were distracting the players, luring them like sirens to the rocks of relegation.
Excellent metaphor.
Sirens to the rocks of...
What a metaphor.
So I had to go find some difficult, sad stories this week. So get back on it, boys and girls, in the comments below. We want to read the week before. If you haven't seen last week's podcast, Soldiers Lost in Battle, there was a story from a guy about a Preston playoff game, and it was absolutely fantastic. I want to read out your stories, the saddest stories of around football. So get them in the comments, and I'll read about them.
Or it could just be on when your missus made you go to IKEA instead of the football. Anything. When you missed a great game for a reason that wasn't your fault. That's what I'm
Saddest
here about.
moments in football.
Soldiers lost in battle. More of that next week.
Celery, Chelsea. What?
Yeah, it's a question I could ask you, James. I don't think there's a definitive answer to this. There are a few suggestions, but I think it's a wonderful tradition, and I think it's a sad state of affairs that it's banned. They've banned it.
So for the people who don't know, what is this? Because I was thinking, right, what can we talk to Rory about? Chelsea,
fabulous.
and then Chelsea and Celery came into my head because there's a few songs that are which you don't have to recite.
Yeah,
So they're a bit naughty. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a song Chelsea fans when things are good, the song comes out, and sometimes less good. It will come out when there is a female in eyeline. So, say for example, last weekend against Palace, Sean Macy was running the line.
Oh no.
Celery was sung.
That's a shame.
Okay, just so people know, I'm not going to sing it. I'm going to bleep the curse word or the offensive part.
Can of worms here?
No. I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
So it's celery. If she don't articulate with a lump of celery.
Yes. Exactly. I mean, it's pretty. I think it's supposed to be quite tame. I think that from when it was sung to today, the
where
world's
did it
changed
come
a bit. Well, I think the theory that seems to have the most amount of traction is that Chelsea played a game away at Gillingham. I think Chelsea played at Gillingham. Gillingham's ground was cultivated in a less than glamorous fashion, and celery used to naturally grow. The Gillingham fans used to sing about it.
Right.
Chelsea played against them, enjoyed their chant, and robbed it to get home.
That happens a lot in football. A lot of people get quite,
now it's everything is sung to the same.
There was the Pyatt song, which became famous, but it was actually Newcastle's.
Newcastle did it originally, but the one that went everywhere, and I mean credit to Liverpool because they were the pioneers. It was that Sloop John B song that. We won it 5 times. We won it 5 times, and then it became pretty much any sentiment you wanted to convey was conveyed to that tune.
That was
about 3 years.
That was a universal football truth. 2 weeks ago, that like 90% of songs are sung to that chant.
Yeah.
And now it's
How was it?
Yeah.
Which is not a new song, is it?
No. Well, it was originally. I think again, I could have this wrong, but I think the pioneers of that were United fans with Robin van Persie, and now there was a low moment, a really low moment in my Chelsea supporting career when we seemed to have about 3 players on the pitch who we would serenade with the same song. So, for example. Alvaro Morata, Pedro Rodriguez.
But this is the same group of fans that just went Diego over and over again, which is the worst chant.
Yeah, I agree. I've got an issue with any sort of first name. They're not your mate.
Thank you. I'm putting these away. We're not going to change it at all. They're not your mates.
Not your mates.
Don't call him don't who is it?
We do it with JT when John Terry's on the ball. JT.
Gerard, Stevie, Stevie G.
Yeah.
He don't know you.
He don't know you.
You don't call him by his first name.
Yeah. You know him.
Yeah, exactly.
Too familiar.
Mr. Gerard, score another goal.
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
But it's better than just going, all right, Steve. What? Don't know you.
I think
mate.
a commentator can have a different approach to a fan. Commentator could refer to him as Stevie Gerrard. But I think as a fan,
I think the opposite.
I think also with Gerrard, we've kind of picked the one player who his name has become both his names.
I ain't having it.
Generally speaking, I hate it. And you know, the example you said, Diego, chanting, a one-word chant.
Hang on, sorry.
First name, it's appalling. It's an appalling way to demonstrate our love for an incredible striker.
Gary.
Exactly.
Hang on.
Exactly.
But of all the things in the world you can get angry about, and all the things in football you
is
can be
up
angry
there,
about right now, but why?
Because you should be creative. Terraces are an opportunity for, historically, they were an opportunity, hotbeds of creativity, and also there was going to football
Hotbeds
was
of creativity.
absolutely.
Really? Is that where Tracy Emin came from?
Going back, you know, originally what football was. Football should be, and it's sad that it isn't. Football should be a rite of passage for working class kids to go and express themselves.
Yeah.
And when working class kids express themselves, it manifests itself in lots of different forms. It might be graffiti, it might be songs, it might be music, it might be clothing, it might be anything. Always. But the fact that it's changed, generally young people will make a racket and be creative with it. The fact that football is no longer about young people means that a very serious point here, James.
Sorry, I got
giggling for a very serious point. I'm not talking anymore. Give him a question. He's misbehaved.
Yeah, you are
He's
giggling to
misbehaved.
yourself like a child.
Sorry.
There you go. Who was the last player to captain England before David Beckham?
Shearer? No.
No, it's the wrong answer. Martin Keown.
Oh God.
All right, let's crack on.
That's sad. That's brought me back to earth. Right, game of the weekend: Everton versus Arsenal or Liverpool versus Spurs. Which one would you say is the game of the weekend?
There's a lot riding on it. There's a lot of tension in all of the games. I suppose the least amount of pressure is on Tottenham. Although, however, if we win, that's another kind of the hoodoo's gone. You beat Liverpool at home at Wembley. You don't have to worry about anything at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Liverpool.
Again.
Yeah, Liverpool need to win because despite their 7-0 winning against Maribor in the week, there's still some pressure in the league. They're below where they need to be, really. But really, if you think of the what this means, it's got to be Everton and Arsenal because Wenger is coming off the back of a defeat to Watford. They've got a tricky tie this evening. Last night. They had a tricky tie. Don't know how that went. But if they lose, the fans are going to be on their back again. And this could be the last game Koeman manages Everton.
Well, that's a good point though, because this is Premier League, and you can put all the European stuff to one side really, because Maribor and you getting a decent point at Madrid is absolutely irrelevant, because the bottom line is if you don't, these are the home games that you actually, if you do want to win the league, you actually kind of need to beat these guys.
Yeah, I mean, we need to. If we want to win the league, we have to win against Liverpool. The likely is we're not going to win the league.
No.
So, as good as or as mediocre as Liverpool have been at times, they are typically good against other top 6 sides.
And they've actually got quite a decent record against you guys, haven't they? I've seen a few games.
Well, we drew in every game we've played with them, but they've had the better of us over the 90 minutes.
Everton versus Arsenal, 2 managers under massive scrutiny. Should we be giving Arsenal a little bit of a break here? Because the reason I say that is because I think they are. It feels like it's getting to a point where they're getting bullied a bit now.
Yeah.
The manager, the players, they are by both their own fans and I think everyone else watching it. But naturally, is this just a squad that is in a? And that is probably down to the manager. It's his fault that Sanchez isn't firing. Ozil's not firing. The best players that you've got aren't doing much, and so then you're left with the rest. Apparently they've got no cojones yet. Deeney jumping on that and getting angry at them. But look, is that actually a squad that, if they finish 4th, that's actually a good season for Arsenal?
It's a great season.
It's not a good season for Arsenal.
What? Where they've come from?
Arsenal Football Club as an entity, and you definitely empathise with this. It isn't a good season for Arsenal. Arsenal, anything that isn't. The same way this applies to Liverpool, Manchester United. But with the
squad that they've got,
Arsenal, perhaps a newer breed of Arsenal fan would settle for that. But any Arsenal fan that I know from my area, Arsenal win the league, and if they don't win the league, they nearly win the league. All this 4th is nonsense. Settling for a cup and finishing 5th, it's not the Arsenal that I know.
I get that as a wider point. I get that, but if you look at that squad and compare it to the other squads,
nobody does that though. Nobody's happy with their lot. Like Chelsea last season didn't go, do you know what, City got the best team, they can win the league. Like you want to win the league irrespective of your squad. And also Arsenal on their day with their first 11, I think under a different manager for sure, they're a good team. I think it's so troubled there now. I don't know what. I think it's gone so far that I don't know what the answer is.
You look at their wage spend as well. They need to be up much higher than 4th. They should be challenging, but they're not. But as I said, we all know.
And I guess the swing of a player and their productivity, Ozil, Sanchez, Xhaka, basically all of them are on that downturn at the moment.
Exactly. And I mean, you look at somebody like Mesut Ozil's performances of late, and it's just not the player that we know. I mean, I know that he's often had sort of bad games and whatever, but it seems to be consistently out of his depth at the moment. And I mean, short of sacking the manager, which isn't going to happen. So when we're talking about people under pressure. Out of the four massive clubs involved in the fixtures that we're discussing, the person with the easiest weekend is Wenger.
Yeah.
Because irrespective of the result, Tottenham lose. I'll be on Flav about the problems at Wembley and calling Poch a loser and that kind of thing. So pressure. Koeman's probably gone. Klopp is having a lot of questions asked about him. What happens if Arsenal lose? Nothing. Literally nothing.
Not for the because you can
Not
even
for the next
see
2 years.
Yeah, exactly. And so who gets you out of that rut? You're looking to the managers to galvanise, which it seems like you can't really do, or leaders within the team,
Which they don't have.
which they don't seem to have.
I mean, they're in a beneficial position. Some of they've got they're facing Everton who are more rudderless than Arsenal,
Which makes it a bigger game though, because
I think
the important thing is they're playing at home.
It
So
is
if
the
they
bigger
don't
game.
win that, then it's going to be
It looks a
chaos,
disaster
isn't
if they don't win that.
It's a bigger game for sure. And just to answer your question, are they being bullied and does it need to stop? I mean, all bullying is bad and it should always stop. But
To every rule there is a
caveat.
Yes, exactly.
There's the football is an unforgiving place, and narrative and the ease of writing a certain story or talking a certain way about a football club will always win out. They will get their break when they start performing better. It's up to them to change or stand up to the bullies.
And never feel too sorry for them, because I can remember going to Arsenal when we went to Arsenal for years, couldn't get a result. They would forever rub our noses in it. City won the league in black and white.
I would say I don't feel sorry for them whatsoever, but there gets a point where it's almost it's so sided one way that are we missing the point with any kind of glimmers of hope that they might have? Because it's just going so quick. He was so quick to go, and there are so many Arsenal ex-players that are ready to go up. Well, back in my day, and it's the same problem that other teams have had in the past. Liverpool had that during the sort of 90s and early noughties. Is that you had all these guys that it's almost like an albatross around the necks of the players playing there, because the one person talking about those performances was the guy who's
done it all.
Finished and won it all. And so it's I think it's I wouldn't want to be an Arsenal player right now, because that's tricky to get yourself out of it.
But they are in the perfect position to get themselves out of it. Beat Everton 3-0, shuts us up.
And as we did Sunday breakdown, which that's on again this Sunday. I'll be chatting live from 6 p.m. Talking about these games. In that video, I spoke about, can Man United win a title playing like that against Liverpool? Bottom line is they got the draw, and they played awful against Benfica, but again they got the win.
It's so Mourinho.
They'll
win the league. They can win the league like that. It'd be no surprise for Mourinho to lift the trophy in May. No surprise at all.
I'd be surprised, because I just think Man City looks so good. But my point is that
when
they can grind out results.
Win 1-0.
I'm not sure Arsenal can grind out results. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Should we give Stoke a break as well? Stoke City versus Bournemouth this weekend. Massive game for Stoke City. I know Elliot from Bear Pit TV, I was listening to him and Craig do their podcast earlier this week, and they had to do a podcast about the 7-2 game.
What did they say?
Well, it was kind of... they were saying how poor it was, and how Mark Hughes doesn't seem to have a plan there. And then I was sort of off camera, and they were asking me, what was it like at QPR when you had a bad time? And I essentially described the squad that they seem to have there as well. They've got names, but not got the kind of the fight and the grit which you probably need in mid-table when you're having a bit of a difficult time in playing those big teams. But then I said to them, look, I can't remember what they said, but Man City they're beating everyone by a lot.
Chelsea aren't beating everyone by a lot though, and Chelsea beat Stoke by a lot.
True, they're beating 4-0. But the 7-2, it would make you go, especially in the way that it is, the climate is now in football, that you would go, right, he's in trouble, he's got to go. And there is certain rumblings about that with Stoke City, but when you're playing Man City and they're playing like that, do you need to give them a little bit of break? Because it's going to be, because Watford, who we're singing all their praises, they lost 6-0 to them.
But we're not. If every game needs a bit of context. So losing 7-2 to Stoke, losing 7-2 to Manchester City means nothing on its own. Happens to the best. Could happen to anyone. But it's not. It's cumulative. It's losing 4-0 to Chelsea. It's then losing to City. And I think questions do need to be asked of Hughes.
But it's massive. That's why this weekend is a massive game. At home, Bournemouth not doing well so far this season.
Stoke need to beat Bournemouth.
They need to be winning those games.
What I would say is Bournemouth were a lot better and more organised than I thought they would be when we had a tough time beating them. Really tough. We won 1-0. There is, I would say, out of all the teams down there at the bottom, they're the least likely to be relegated.
See, what's going to be interesting is that, sort of Shakespeare loses job this week. No chat about Eddie Howe at all.
No.
And they're not having the best of starts. And he will turn it around and they'll be absolutely fine.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't.
Do you know?
No, I don't understand this Eddie Howe armour. I don't understand where it comes from. Oh yeah, he's the next England manager, he's the next Arsenal manager. What are people basing this on?
Well, the fact that you've got a tiny club like Bournemouth
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
Premier
it's
League
happened
kept them
before. I mean, somebody got Swindon in the Premier League.
Playing
Somebody
football.
got,
And they
somebody
got pumped.
Barnsley.
They
Somebody
got
got
pumped.
Barnsley in the
But
Premier
They
League.
got pumped
But
as well.
Yeah, Bournemouth
Barnsley stayed up the first year.
No, they didn't.
Barnsley stayed up
No,
first
they
year.
didn't.
Sure they did.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
I think they did.
Well, one of you's
Neil
right.
Redfern kept him up. I'm convinced.
Let us know in the comments. I know the answer to that.
Well-
Definitely.
Oh no!
No, he's
Oh,
gonna
no.
shake
The man who
it.
knows it all is disagreeing with me. That means I know nothing.
This guy knows nothing. Can he reprieve himself? Who are the only 2 players to win full England caps with 5 different Premier League clubs each? Just give me one. Let us know the rest in the comments below.
So played for 5 clubs and has an England cap.
Yeah, won full England. Yeah, who are the only 2 players to win full England caps? With
Give me a
5
different question. This is a
Premier
terrible
Danny
question.
Murphy one.
League- No.
Unlucky though.
Let us know in the comments. I'll give you the answer at the end of the show.
Just one thing. Eddie Howe kept Bournemouth up playing football. A tiny club like Bournemouth, tiny wage bill. He does deserve a bigger job than Bournemouth.
Maybe, but not the England job, not the Arsenal job.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Spurs versus Liverpool. One thing we did want to talk about is one more year at Wembley.
This
So-
is such good news. This is the best news that I've
It's
had.
not news.
This
It's rumour.
Well, this is the best rumour I've had.
Okay, so I've heard things that the stadium. This has been kind of rumbling for a while, but that perhaps the Spurs stadium won't be ready for next season, mainly due to
I'm
so
so
when
happy. I feel like that little emoji. You know that emoji that's like that, like praise the Lord. That's me at the moment. I just like a personified emoji. I'm so happy.
So obviously from the outside looking in, it looks like the progress is flying.
That's great.
up,
That's
and it
great
is.
news. Because you've got more capacity, so you can get more people in, so you can make more money. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, so a less
move
chance
on?
of ending up like QPR.
This has so many. This is so
Many
layered
fans.
though.
But
If you stay another year, it means so many things. It's so good for me.
It's apparently something to do with the cabling or something that needs to be stripped out. Took 5 months to put in. It's taken another 5 months.
Look at the knock-on effect
to
of
put
it. It
back
would
in.
mean that Tottenham have to stay at Wembley for another year, which costs them a fortune, which will affect their transfer budget, which means they might have to sell players. Which, if they stay there, it means Chelsea can't go there. Which means we stay at Stamford Bridge for another year at least.
But what, you can't buy players because you have to rent it again?
They had to pay a fortune.
But
To
if you
Wembley.
ever rent it again and it's not your fault, then you don't have to rent it, do you?
What?
Yeah, well, as if Wembley go, oh right, bad luck on your cabling, come here for free.
Do you think they've done that on purpose?
Oh mate, my house
Sabotage.
was flooded. Oh, that's all right, move into my house for nothing.
Well,
Fair enough. You might get a knockdown price though.
it costs $2 million. God, it's expensive each game. You end up making no money on gate receipts. So yeah, that's the issue. But it won't affect our transfer. We have never spent any money in the last 10 years anyway.
It may mean that you'll have to sell them.
Well, we always sell. We still finish second and third.
Sell them.
I wouldn't worry about the impact on Tottenham. You just worry about your own little football club.
Fair enough.
All right.
Burnley versus Man City. This is where the shock is going to come. People don't believe it, but it's going to happen because Burnley are the master blockers.
They are.
They are the master
It's
blockers.
incredible. They have the top 4 blockers in the Prem.
What a stat.
Tarkowski,
Where'd you
me,
get that?
Cork, and another one which I forgot to write down, which I wish I had.
And what is a blocker?
So blocks, basically blocking shots.
Where did you get this stat? This is
It's an
fantastic.
incredible article in the BBC, but it's actually something that I called a year ago. I say called. I read an article and someone else had spotted it, but it was. I remember seeing it then, and then watching Burnley, and it's a tactic that they've done for well over a year now. So just to get a couple of stats across.
This is so good.
So total shots faced per game, 26.8 per game. Right? That's
insane.
out of the top 5 leagues in Europe, so 98 teams, that's 98. Clearances,
Better watch
43.
Every 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes they got to face a shot.
43.
Is that right?
43 clearances, that's the best. If it's best, that's the most in the top 5 leagues. Possession, they've got the worst in the top 5 leagues. A second worst in total passes, in 291.
What is their goal?
What are they good at? Well, you're telling us loads of bad things, but you're telling us they're going to upset City.
Well, those are good things.
Total
That's
shots
where
on
you
goal,
look at
8.3 per game. So the point of this is, and this is the tactic that they use, it does work, is that the back 4, the 2 banks of 4 that they use, they essentially just defend the penalty area, the lines of the penalty area. So they're basically hedging their bets and allowing teams to have the ball,
Shoot
but
from
not
range.
have the, and you can have the ball out wide. But if you cross it, then we've got
We're
two
gonna
big
win
guys
it,
to get
yeah.
rid of it. You can have it on the edge of the box as well. But we've got our wingers and our centre midfielders and our fullbacks all in one area
We're gonna
of
block
space.
So what?
shit
They
out of it.
completely concede possession wide. Have it, whip it in, do what you like.
Yep.
But the second that it comes in, you're dead.
Well, and so sorry. This is the crucial part of the tactic as well. Is that when they're defending, they're not defending space. They're just defending their goal. And so when they're looking to block, they're not
All central.
marking the space. They're saying central, and they're thinking, where is the goal in correlation to me and then the defender, not where should I be showing him or things like that. And then the final thing, a couple of great quotes here. So this is what I love. Sean Dyche. I reckon when players come into the club, he's like, stand there. And he's got someone like right stand there, wait. And he'd go to kick a ball, and the guy will turn around. You know when you fake kick a ball at someone, you go, don't ever do that again. Tarkowski, right? The interview with Tarkowski, he's saying, apparently Sean Dyche, this is one of his pet hates. It's if you turn your back on the ball. Oh, sorry, that Ben Mee said that. You see a lot of goals going off people who do that, and the gaffer expects you to stand there and take the pain.
Geezer.
Burnley have a +2 goal difference, so whatever they're doing is
working.
they're working.
It's
working.
incredible.
And that's actually, like giving space out wide. That's how Leicester won the league. So they conceded space outside. They had Wes Morgan and Robert Huth at the back.
And so they won't
This is going to
commit.
be our tactics tonight.
So watch Burnley next time. They won't commit to the ball. They won't try and go and win the ball. They go, you can have a shot, but I know where the goal is, and I'm going to try and block it from there. And look, just to be willing to take the ball in the stomach or the face or wherever, and if it stops a goal, then it all counts.
Can you imagine as a fan how much you'd love your team to be like that?
Absolutely.
There's nothing more frustrating when a player does that in the wall, curls up, it deflects off them.
Yeah, there was a time when Adebayor and Paulinho both twisted away from the ball. I think it might have been against West Ham, and the ball curled in to the bottom, into the goal, and both of them had to come out with public apology.
Yeah, rightly so.
And we're really sorry.
And so, in terms of creating a team in your own image, that is exactly what Sean Dyche is doing here.
It's
And
incredible.
they're playing Man City this weekend. Expect that to be a lot tighter than you.
I reckon they'll concede 46 goal shots.
Shots, yeah.
46.
To De Bruyne alone.
It's going to be absolutely.
They're so good. Man City are so good at scoring goals from range that actually this may not work.
Doesn't matter how good they are if they're being blocked.
De Bruyne can put the ball wherever he wants. I'm sure he'll be able to find some space. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
So do you want to play the Chelsea game, next gen or regen, or do you want to talk about Sven? Well, rhymes, doesn't it?
Sven's got to be more interesting.
Okay. So first of all, another quick plug for FanLeague. He's a brand ambassador, like Jimmy Alcott. We're pundits, and we give our tips, and I share my knowledge every single week with my picks, as does Sven Goran Eriksson, who I'm taking on each week. Bizarre, I know. Even more bizarre, headed over to Malta for the sort of launch party of FanLeague, and got to meet Sven. And it was
good night out,
weird. It was just a surreal thing, right? Lovely bloke. However you imagine Sven to be, that's exactly what it was like. He was just calm. You could have a quick chat with him. He was fine. It's amazing how many clubs he's managed. Benfica, Sampdoria,
Lazio.
Roma, Lazio, England, Ivory Coast, Mexico, Notts County.
What's he up to at the moment?
He's he's just finished with Chinese club, and he's just concentrating on his family.
Where does he live?
He's just moved back to Sweden just a couple of months ago. Yeah,
he
we're
used
chatting
to
about that.
live near me. Did he? Well, I wish he
Well,
still did.
actually, I can't talk about that. But anyway.
Oh no, you can't do that. That's exactly.
No, I can't. So I sat down with him in Malta. We're going to throw to a clip now. This is one of Sven's predictions, and he also talks about Jose Mourinho and Alex Ferguson briefly. Check it out.
Huddersfield Town versus Manchester United. Huddersfield doing so well, coming up, being promoted. David Wagner doing very well there. It's been an incredible rise for them against Manchester United, who I'm sure you had some dealings with in the past. Was Mourinho easier to deal with than Fergie?
Yeah, it was very easy.
He was easy,
to deal
really.
with Mourinho.
Right.
He said to me, when it's England, you are in charge of all the Chelsea players. He was in Chelsea at that time. So no problem at all. Ferguson was a little bit different.
Yeah, seems like on occasion a slightly angry man. Man United are doing very well this season. This is a banker for you, I'm guessing.
Yes. United will win that game, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's no chance of a shot at all.
It suits them very well because they will defend, sometimes a little bit deep, and when they win the ball, they will kill.
So even a team like Huddersfield Town, they'll still defend deep, Man United?
I think so. Mourinho,
he likes that, doesn't he?
Keep 0 there and you will win the game.
Go on then, tell us about your night out with Sven.
So, got there and jars of flow, weren't they?
Like a few beers?
Yeah, a few beers.
Beers for the boys!
Yep. And Sven, he likes a glass of red wine as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's lovely. And we went from the office where the party was to a lovely bar where they'd made special cocktails, including the Svendetta cocktail.
Did you get it? You sure they did?
Yeah, well that's my pun, so don't ever get that. Anyway, so I had a few drinks, and then it was like, so imagine, we've all been in clubs, right? Yeah. And if you haven't, once you hit 18, then you can do that. And when go to an average club, and there'll be like sort of booths, right? And so when we were there, we were sat down having like a cocktail, or Sven was having a glass of red wine, and it was midnight, and we were all chatting there, and I was just I was sat next to Sven-Goran Eriksson. I remember thinking, this is weird.
Yeah, really weird.
Like, not that he's weird, just the whole situation is odd.
Yeah.
And then he was like, guys, I've got to go.
Oh, no.
Absolute professional. I was like, don't go, Sven. I was like, no. He went, no. He went, no, you guys crack on. Not in that voice. And anyway, he then left. So we finished our drink, and then we were like, right, let's keep this party going. Went outside. Sven's there. He's got caught up. He started another drink, isn't he?
Oh, he just wanted different company. He wasn't going anywhere.
Possibly.
He just wanted better company.
So then I tried to get him to go to karaoke bar because I thought how incredible would that be. Wasn't keen.
How much did you persist?
Not for a very long time.
Come on!
Imagine that, it just became awkward. Come on!
Are you still friends? Have you been like WhatsApping since?
We didn't exchange numbers.
Did you try?
No, I think that might have been odd in itself. But the next day, I wasn't feeling my best, to be honest. And you can see this clip, all of the predictions of Sven on the FanLeague YouTube channel. We'll put a link in the description. But we went to go set up, and I wasn't feeling great. And I'm going to reveal something to the FanLeague people here now as well, because they don't know about this. I got there, and we had this lovely bar that we were going to like do the bit of filming on, which you've just seen if you're watching the clip, and they were just about to go get Sven, and I felt a rumble.
Oh no!
In my stomach, and I was like, okay, no, I'm okay. Oh, I'm all right. Then I had an upper rumble.
Oh.
And they went, we're just going to get Sven, bring him back. I was like, and that was my chance. So I said, have you got is there a toilet here? And like, yeah. And I just jolly walked up there. Sick. Chaos. Came out. There he is, Sven. Gleaming.
How boozy was the previous night?
I don't know. It was too much for me. I don't know if it was something. Apparently,
maybe it was just a vendetta.
Maybe put a curse on me. Yeah. So then I had to utter professional. Didn't even bring it up, Flav, till now. It's probably a bad idea. Anyway.
I couldn't tell when watching the film. I couldn't tell. You see if you can tell.
Yeah,
James.
go check that out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my story of Sven. But I felt like I kept myself professional. Did it on my own time. But probably the only unprofessional thing I've done now is retell the story.
That's right. It's fine. Football fans.
He's had a wonderful life, Sven. When you just talk through the clubs that he's managed there,
Incredible.
What a life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Did you talk football with him all?
We did. We chatted about England. We've also done another video with him, which we've got some questions that have been answered from some of the fan ambassadors. So Ian McIntosh, DT sent him a question. Dean from 442s. Someone asked him about Donald Trump, so he gives his thoughts on Donald Trump, and that's going to be coming soon on the channel. So yeah, subscribe to Bull Street if you want to check out Sven-Goran Eriksson's opinions on
of all
on
of
Donald
the things Trump. to talk to Sven-Goran Eriksson about. I'd be so interested to sit and have a chat with him. What? Why do you care about his politics?
Oh no, I think it's quite a pertinent question, I guess. But no, we spoke about all sorts.
England.
We did speak about all sorts.
He's in charge of that Lazio team.
Yeah. Well, it was fascinating talking about England, talking about Euro 2006, talking about he talks about his angriest moment as the England manager as well, which is all coming soon.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah, nice little tease there. Last little bit, next gen or regen. Now you've just talk us through the Chelsea loan system.
It's an incredibly successful system.
True.
It doesn't work for me. It's not what I want from a youth system, but in terms of what it's designed to do, it's probably the best in the world.
Yeah.
And the point of it is to produce young footballers and sell them for a profit and therefore turn the club a profit.
Yeah.
And that works better than anywhere else in football, I think. If you look at some of the deals done relatively recently, just quick caveat. I disagree with this. I want people that have been at the club since they were 8 to play for the first team. That's the point of a youth system for me. I will feel an affinity with a player like Nathaniel Chalobah way more than I will a lad who's brought in, at least to begin with, because Nathaniel Chalobah is me. He's better at football than me, but he's a lad he's a Londoner who plays for Chelsea. Just like if I was good at football, I'd be a Londoner who played for Chelsea. So I want players who have the DNA of Chelsea Football Club intertwined into their soul from a young age. But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to make money. And when you look at what we do, we make a fortune. You sell Christian Atsu, you bring him in, you groom him for a bit, you sell him a huge profit.
Not like that, lad.
Yeah. You sell him to Newcastle for 8 million quid, and it's a huge success. You bring Nathan Ake in, you sell him to Bournemouth for 15 million quid. These are huge sums of money for players, and that's the point of it. So it's a massive success.
Yes, indeed. Right, let's play the game. So these players, some of these players were Chelsea players, right? And Rory is Mr. Chelsea. Rory knows Chelsea, but does he know this silly amount
His
of
Twitter
players?
name is Chelsea Rory.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just like the club I support and my name.
I understand. I understand how you.
But still, you get it.
I was just intrigued if these guys. Okay, it's not going to work out for them on the first team level.
I've come up with a great idea. Oh, what? I support Chelsea, and my name's Rory. I've fucking got the best Twitter handle on earth.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
QPR James. Tottenham Gary.
So yeah, I'm just intrigued to know, do these youth team players have an impact on Chelsea fans? Do you know them or not?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to give you 2 names. I've got 4 sets of these.
And what one of them is?
One of them's a Football Manager regenerated player.
And one's a real one.
One's a real player.
One's a real
in
youth
the
player. So
Chelsea
I'm
youth
identifying the real player.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Right. Ulysses Davila and Todd Kane.
Todd Kane definitely played for Chelsea.
Yeah?
100%.
He's a regenerated player, Todd Kane.
Todd Kane isn't a regenerated player.
No, they're both saying no.
Oh really? Oh god, I'm mixed up.
He's got a muddled up.
They're both Chelsea youth players.
Oh, are they? Oh damn.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Just go each way.
Yeah.
And then Craig can tell us whether or not they're right.
Yeah, let me finish. That was the test. That was the test. Right, next one. I forgot how this works. Islam Feruz, Rodolphe Labadie.
Islam Feruz 100% plays for Chelsea. Signed him from Celtic.
But did Rodolphe Labadie?
I thought that wasn't the game.
Just answer.
No, he didn't. That's
Correct.
a fake name.
Correct. Right. Prince Salami.
Prince Salami.
Zalami.
Oh right, I was like, that's definitely a regen.
Christian Cuevas. Next gen.
Do you know?
Regen.
You know Craig.
Craig knows.
The first one played for Chelsea.
Prince Salami.
No, the other one.
That's the second one,
The
isn't
second one, sorry, I
Right.
forgot the order in which you said them.
Christian Cuevas.
Prince Salami is a fake.
Prince Salami. That is correct. That is a fake. Yeah, Christian Cuevas did play for Chelsea. Alex Davey or Eugene Raban.
Alex Davey played for Chelsea.
Correct. He does know his stuff. Well done. I think we'll all
It's a good
agree that was a good game.
It's a
That
good
was
game.
good. Can you do one when we don't have a guest? Can you do that for me?
Absolutely.
Tottenham, thanks.
Oh mate.
Do you have
know
knowledge
the
of the youth?
players?
Not really, and that's why I'd be fun.
Right, it could be fun. Right. And that's your lot.
Yeah, cheers. FanLeague, remember, download the app. Because
involved
if
in
you
the
don't
league,
download
lads.
the app and you like this, it will go away. like literally, it will go away. It won't be here forever. If you download and play the game, it will be here forever. As long as you're downloading and playing, it will stay. How about that?
Yeah, hard. It's gone with the hard
It's a good-
sell.
Yeah, you've got to be honest
No,
sometimes.
straight up.
Download the app, it's not a problem. The links, it take you 2 minutes of your time. and then play.
Other side of it is a bit of a community. We've got a league. So come and have a look, and we can chat together.
That is
I'm
actually
involved in
that is a true. We've got a little chat room going. We've got leagues, got a banter flowing. Get involved. It's good fun.
As promised, and hopefully you've commented down below, we had the question. We'll give you the answer now. Who are the only 2 players to win full England caps with 5 different Premier League clubs each? Craig, do you know?
Scott Parker one.
Scott Parker is one.
Come on,
Correct.
boy.
Charlton Athletic.
Peter Crouch.
No. Charlton Athletic, Chelsea, Newcastle United, West Ham United, and Spurs.
Yes.
And the other one was.
He's a journeyman.
I'll give you his initials. EH.
Eamon Holmes.
Eamon Holmes is correct. Well done. No. Emil Heskey.
Of course.
It was Leicester City, Liverpool, Birmingham City, Wigan Athletic, and Aston Villa.
Literally for a second, I was like, I've never even heard of him.
Rory, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a joy.
For
It's been a
joining
joy.
us,
It's been a
mate.
joy. Thank you.
Rory will be on Social Club on Monday, as will Flav, as will I. Make sure you check that out on Monday. It's going to be good stuff. Bull Street South representing. A bit of hate for Bull Street South, but we plough
Oh,
on
really?
anyway.
From where?
Yeah.
Have we
from
been
comments.
trolled?
Yeah. Well, we've been
No.
trolled by Ped and
Mate,
Paul.
I've got enough trolling. I can't. Really?
Don't worry about it.
Expect some more on Monday.
They'll get over it.
Sure. Okay.
And on Sunday, the Sunday breakdown, me chatting to you, chatting to me about the football. Come and get involved.
Perfect.
Subscribe to the channel of Bull Street. We're going to be doing a couple of other little videos quickly on the FanLeague channel, so go check that out as well. And we'll see you next week at 10 a.m. on a Friday.
Download the app and join today.